Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Stappenbach 17 here in Germany. In Germany, that's where we are, in Farming Simulator. Yeah, so anyway, we are just about finished doing our cultivating here in this big field, and we're not going to worry about cultivating the other field, we're just going to direct seed that one. So when we're done here, Well, I think we're going to just park up the cultivator. I think we'll keep hold of it. We've got another 2 million euros here because we sold all the machinery that we started on the map with, which means that we're not going to have to worry about getting anything extra. We've got enough land to keep us going, and we've got the machinery, the basic machinery that we're going to need. There's a few other things that I want to get as well. I asked you last week where I could go and get some seed, if anybody knew, and apparently there may not be anywhere on the map to go and buy seed. So what I'm thinking is that we will, just to make this a lot easier, rather than messing around with pallets, is we'll get a couple of placeables and we'll throw those down, so long as I've remembered to actually include the mods. Forage tank, pig food tank, there we go, right. Solid fertilizer and seed tanks, that's the ones that we want. So we will get these here. And I'm going to put these down at the farm because this is going to be our main arable area up here. So if I drop the seed tank and the fertilizer tank down here, it seems like it'd be like the best place to use them. So we could drop that down there and we'll be able to access that one fairly easily. And then we'll do the same with the solid fertilizer tank as well. And I'm also going to get a liquid fertilizer tank, which I'll put in a slightly different position. So if I put that one there, we ought to be able to maneuver around these and get to them. I'm hoping to be able to fill up from them. And then a liquid fertilizer tank as well, which we are going to use. Well, I'm hoping to be able to use it at some point. I'm just not quite sure when. And that one, I'm going to put that one up on this side up here, where it can be accessed up there. So we've got the 3 tanks there. That's just going to make life a little bit easier for us, and I'm hoping that then we're not going to really have to worry about it. And I will go and get started on the other seeder in a minute. Now, as you know, I've sort of been thinking about a way that I can try to make my weekly question a little bit more open to everybody, because lately, well, the last few months, right, I finished sneezing. The last few months, I've been asking a question, but because of how I've got to record, I only get the people who watch the episodes and vote between Monday and Thursday, which is not even a full week for you to have the opportunity to vote. So I've been thinking about how I could do this, and also how to keep doing the weekly questions, because I know that a lot of you aren't particularly interested in voting on things like what brand of machinery we should get and things like that. And I'm also thinking that the brand of machinery and things like that, I don't necessarily need to put that up for a vote, because you put comments in the comment section and I do look at those. So if I'm getting a number of suggestions for a particular brand, like using class machinery on this one here in Germany, I had a lot of suggestions for that one, then I will generally go for that anyway. So I feel that that is the best way to influence brands of machinery and things like that going forwards. And so we're going to be using the weekly question for something else. Now, a lot of comments last week said, can we please keep doing this map for longer than just 4 weeks? Because there's so much stuff on here, you'd like me to go for longer on the map. And yes, I think that could be an absolutely wonderful idea to go for longer. But I did say I'd change the map every 4 weeks. And so what I've thought, I've come up with another idea for how we can do the weekly questions and maybe longer on a map and so on. And I'm hoping that this idea is sort of going to make everybody all at once happy. And it's probably not going to make everybody happy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you, now we're in the 2nd week on the map, I'm going to put forth the question, what map would you like me to go to next? But I'm not just going to run that question now. I'm going to leave this question running for 2 weeks instead of the usual 1. So everybody, it will actually be running for roughly 10 days before I have to gather up all the results and do an answer when I do my first recording the following week. But so you'll get that there'll be a weekend there that if for people who only get to watch the videos at the weekends, you'll get to vote as well. I will ask the question for 2 weeks on the trot. So I am going to be asking the question for 2 weeks continuously. So it'll be 6 episodes that you better vote on. So if you really want to vote strongly, you can vote 6 times to influence the vote. So for people who watch every episode, there will be opportunity for you to vote a number of times so that you can influence the vote. What I'm going to do is we're going to keep changing the map every 4 weeks, and this is something that I'd like to keep doing right into FS19 as well. But one of the choices will always be the map I'm currently playing. So, for example, this week, my weekly question is, what map do you want me to go to next for the next 4-week session? Do you want me to stay here on Stappenbach? Do you want me to move to the Horsch map, the big one? Do you want me to go to the new Welker Farms map that has just been released? Valley the Old Farm, or Lone Oak Farm, which is another one I've had a huge number of requests for. I haven't included the one from the Netherlands this week because I didn't think it would get a look in on the others, and I wanted to give it a better chance. So I specifically haven't included that one. So if you really want me to stay playing on this map, then vote for Stappenbach again, and I will stay here and I'll do another 4 weeks here. And moving on, and this is sort of how I'm thinking we're going to keep going with our weekly questions for at least a little while on into FS19. I figure this might be a way that everybody gets to vote and we don't stay on a map too long, and we get to look at new maps. So I will constantly look at suggestions. So just keep putting suggestions for things you want me to do in the game, things that you want me to include, and so on and so forth. Those suggestions are your key to influencing how things happen, and we will do a vote that will run for 2 weeks each time, and you can then choose whether or not we stay on the map that we're doing or if we move on to a new one. So you have the opportunity to get me to stay on this map for another 4 weeks if that's what you want, or we will be moving on to a different one. Now, I know that there are 2 maps that I've suggested that I have had a lot of people asking for. A lot of people have asked for the new Welker Farms one, and a lot of people have been asking for Lone Oak as well. Now, I know that there are a lot of people asking for these maps. Question is, are you going to vote now on Stappenbach and keep me here for another 4 weeks, and then vote on Welker Farms a bit later on, or are you going to go straight for that one or one of the other ones? Just remember that I'm not going to just remove things off the vote. Especially, I will I say almost certainly, because I can't guarantee it's going to happen every time, but it's most likely going to happen every time. The vote that comes second, the one that comes second, I will include that on the following week as well. So if we vote to stay here, but Welker Farms comes a good, easy second, then I will definitely be including that one on next week's vote, because it's obviously important to quite a lot of people. Not next week's, next month's vote. So I'm hoping you understand this. 2 weeks, we'll run the vote for 2 weeks, and the only thing that I'm going to be asking you to vote on for the foreseeable future will be what map we play next. And we'll see how this works out. I don't know if it's going to work. I think this is a way that everybody gets a chance to vote, even those people who normally don't get to vote because they only get to watch at the weekends. And it's also a chance for you to influence more strongly the maps that we play, and we're not going to stay too long on any one map or anything like that. So, yeah. I don't know how it's going to work. We'll see. It's going to be a trial for a few months, and we'll see what happens. So give me your thoughts and opinions on this. And most of all, you do actually need to vote. So, do you want me to go to Stappenbach next? Stay here on Stappenbach next. Go to Horsch, go to Welker Farms, go to Valley the Old Farm, or go to Lone Oak Farm. It's your vote. It's your game. Head into the comment section down below. Let us know which one you want and why. And, of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right-hand corner. Now, I'm just going to bring this one out, and I'm aware that I haven't... Actually, I'm not going to bring it out. I'm just going to leave it in here for a minute. I'm aware that I haven't washed any of this machinery. It's looking very grubby. And our poor minion on the front there, he can't see a thing at the moment. That's not the way to treat minions. We will have to do something about that. We'll have to hose him off fairly soon. But what we want to do is we want to come back down here, and we want to get this one, the Class Zerian Saddle Track. Now, a lot of people were asking me in the comment section, could I please use this one properly? Well, I say properly, because there is a pack that goes with this one that makes it work like the Holmer, and allows it to... Now, which way did I want to go? I need to go this way. Right, excuse me, person. Let's just pretend that the person wasn't there. It works like the Holmer Eco... I can't remember what it's called. Let's see if we can find the actual Holmer here a minute, and then I can show you the one that I mean. And I also... I want to run a quick test on this today, and if this test doesn't work, then I will go and get the actual pack that I need to have. So that one there, the Terra Variant 600 Eco. That one does seem to be quite a bit lower than this one, but so I don't know if the Holmer ones are actually compatible with this one. I'm hoping they are, because it would make it a lot easier, because then everything's on Mod Hub, and it makes it easier for you to be able to get these things. So I want to have a look. There's slurry tankers available, there's muck spreaders available, there's grain auger wagons available as well. I don't know if there's any others. Is there a fertilizer spreader available? No, there isn't. That's a bit of a shame. I'd like there to have been a fertilizer spreader. We'll go for the slurry tanker, because I quite like the idea of using that one. So it says Terra Variant. I'm going to get this one a minute, and we're going to buy... Now, the way that buying works in Seasons is that if you buy a machine and you don't like it and you return it within 2 hours, you get a full refund. And I mean a full refund, not just a partial refund. You get all your money back. And that's one aspect of the game, of Seasons, that I do particularly love. It's absolutely awesome that they do that. Now, can I back down there so that I can turn? I don't think I've got enough room to turn on that bit there. I think it's going to be a little bit too much of a squeeze. So if we carry on this way a little bit further, we'll go all the way round. Uh-oh. Which way are you going to go? Right, they're going straight across, so we can come up through here. And we get up to our farm up the top, and then we can go in to the dealership with the other road that we need to take to the dealership. I'm going to leave the seed drill at the farm, and then we can head down there, and we can go to the dealership, and we better get the next bit. So we want to come... Actually, I might be able to start it loading up. We might be able to just leave that one right beside our new purchases up here. Get this one loading. We can run back down to the dealership, and we can test this one on the Holmer equipment to see whether or not it will actually load that. If it does, brilliant. If it doesn't, I will get a pack from another website ready for next time. It'll either be Mod Hub... not Mod Hub, it's not Mod Hub, it's, Mod something. I can't remember what it's called now. That's terrible. I always remember what it's called. Right, we'll put that one in there. You know what? I think I may struggle to hitch that one back on at that sharp angle if I try to do it from there, if I unhitched it at that angle. It doesn't like hitching back on at sharp angles. So we might have to just bring that one... There we go. Let's try that, shall we? That's loading. So if I unhitch a minute, I'm hoping it's going to carry on loading while it does that. Yes, it is. I can just see the money there. Right, so now we will come whizzing over this way, and we want to head back down to the dealership. Now, there's two ways that we can get to that. One, there was the back road that we could go to the dealership, but there's also, we can go in this way as well, can't we? We come down here onto this road, and then we turn left just here, down this one, and we come in just into the back of the dealership right here like this. There we go. And there is the slurry tanker. Now this is for the eco variant, so it may not fit this one. Which way round do we go? That's the front there. I want to go this side. I really hope this does fit, because then it gives everybody a chance to be able to use them. I'm thinking... Not a chance. Absolutely not a chance. That ain't going to fit at all. Okay, so the Holmer saddle track, it doesn't actually work on this. We're going to have to use a different one, which means that I will get a pack ready for the next episode. I know the pack to get. A couple people have linked it. I found it on another website as well. I will make sure it is an easy, clean download, because sometimes the downloads from... we've got the Mod Hub on here. It's mod, you know, I can't remember what it's called at the moment. Mod Hoster. Of course it's Mod Hoster. Right, we want to go into there. So yeah, if sometimes you can't get a clean download on Mod Hoster, and if that's the case, there we go. So we can sell that one for 54,000 because we've only had it for a little while. So I'll sell that one immediately. That was just a trial run there. And something I really do love about Seasons is it does allow you to do that. So it's a nice little detail, little touch that they've got there. So you're having a machine on trial. Right, let's take this one a minute while we're here. And where is... Oh, it's here. There is our farm. Our farm is right here. And that right there, I feel, would be an excellent spot to put the pressure washer. I mean, the water runoff is going to go right down onto the road there, so maybe we need to think about this. I mean, you've got the silage clamps there. You don't really want the water running into the silage clamps. I mean, the water here, technically you'd have a bit of drainage here, so all the water from here wouldn't be going down onto the road anyway. If, you know, rules and regulations and stuff, I think it's highly unlikely that all the surface drainage from this yard would be allowed to be running down onto that road. So I suspect that there is actually drainage down here that's taken it away, so that there's no chance of the road being flooded. So we've got that one right there. Let's go back over here, grab you, and you can head back to the farm. Now, we can go this way, but I think this goes up into the back field, doesn't it? You go to just to the end of this little road here, and then it goes up into the back field, which we don't really want to go to. Oh, no, it goes onto the lane on the side. Right. Well, that does make a little bit of a difference. We go to here. Now, which way do we want to go here? Can we go that way? I'm hoping we can go this way. Let's go whizzing down here. We don't actually own this field beside us. This field 79 right here. I'm thinking that we ought to add that one to our list of fields that we own so that we've got this little block here. It does seem like it would be prudent. Because you look in here, we've got these two grass fields here, which go round that one. We don't own those two. We've got those three there. So and we've also got the two across the road. I mean, we're probably not going to do anything with the two across the road. And then we've got some grass fields over here as well. So I think maybe we will buy this one. We'll just get that one there and buy. That's only 38,000, so it's not very expensive. And then we can come over this way. And ooh, I like the lane here. It's not even at all. It's very uneven. It's a small lane that you wouldn't be using a great deal. You might use it for silage trailers coming in and out, but you wouldn't necessarily use it all the time. And I really do like fields like that occasionally because it's very sort of, it's more like real life. Lanes like that, I should say, not fields. It is very similar to real life. You have these places where you do go in and out with some vehicles, but you don't go in and out with all vehicles on all entrances because it just doesn't work. It's not feasible. Right, we got fertilizer. So really this tank right beside me here, surely this is the one that I want seed from. Isn't this the seed tank? Thought this was the seed tank. Maybe that's not the seed tank and the seed tank is the other. I must have got them the wrong way round. I honestly thought that they were the other way round. Because I mean, even the symbol is that symbol on it. Let's go back over this way a minute and we'll just see what we're going to get by going into that one there. Like that. And then... Huh. Oh! It's directional, isn't it, on these tanks? I remember now. Right. That means we got to back this one down onto this side so that we can load the seed, which is a little bit of a nuisance. I didn't actually think about that. It's a problem. It's difficult to see which is the front. There we go. Yeah. So where I was, even though I was like parked right on the outside, I was parked right up against this one. I was actually in the hitbox for this one, but the box for this one is like this area here instead of like being in front of it. And you've got a job to see where the actual front of these tanks are. The only little complaint I got with those, I mean, they are pretty good. So we get this one filled up a sec. Certainly takes its sweet time to fill up, but it's done now. And this will last us quite a while. We've got a lot of seeding to do. So we got this one field here, which we're going to do as whole crop. And I think I was going to do whole crop barley, and I was going to do grain for wheat over there is how we were going to do it. So let me just unfold this bad boy here, and we'll get this one backed into the corner over there. See if we can do this. The small grass field, I'm thinking we'll get a smaller seed drill to try and do that one with, rather than a great big seed drill like this, because I don't think I'd be able to get this one in around a small grass field very successfully. I think I'm just going to end up causing problems for myself if I try and do that. I'm going to end up causing problems for myself doing this anyway. But we'll give it our best shot. This is the bit where I drive into the trees on the edges. Never particularly good at judging some of the... Well, sometimes I can do it, and sometimes not. Sometimes I really do make a proper pig's ear of it. But this, actually, we seem to be doing all right. We'll just come up to here. I'm going to go straight off the edge here, and that's just going to make it a little bit easier to do the turning. Another thing that I want to do is over here there is a cattle yard where we can buy young cattle. There's Mutter something. Mutter is mother. I've found that one out. A lot of people have been telling me my German pronunciations. Thank you ever so much for everybody that's been contributing to that. A lot of you are really able to handle the German language well, and it's absolutely brilliant. So I have been looking at them. I have been trying to learn some of them, and when I see them written down, I might actually try to say some of them myself on here again. But, yeah, apparently I'm not that far off. Some of them I did get a little bit wrong, but I'm not doing too bad. The Mutterschwein for the little places where we started with all of those bits of machinery for the pigs. Mutter is mother, so it's mother pigs. Schwein is pigs, and that's where we can raise small pigs and then you sell them up. Now I'm not sure though if you can take the pigs from there to the adult place. So there is another one for cows, and so we could go and buy that one, and we could start rearing young cows. And I'm not sure if it's only for beef, or if we can take the calves that we get from there, and we can bring them over to this farm over here, and then we can use them on this farm for raising cattle, which I think would be absolutely brilliant. You know, we could raise our own cattle, and then we've got milking cows over on this side from cattle that have been raised from calves. I'm going to buy some milking cows here anyway, but I just think that'd be really, really awesome if that's something that we can actually do in this game. Right, stop there. Give the minion a bit of a headache. I said I was going to do barley on this field, didn't I? And I was going to do wheat on the other one, and then I've gone and done wheat all the way around this. Alright, well, we'll switch it round then. We'll carry on doing wheat on this one, but then when we get to the other field, we'll switch over to barley. So we've got two separate crops. I'd like to have just two different crops on this one. It's just going to make it easier. We're not going to worry about anything more than that. We're not going to try and do anything fancy. So let me lower that one down there, and go on up this side. Let's actually filled all of that bit in. I might be able to just set the hired help going on this one in a minute. And then while the hired help carries on and does this field for a while, we can go up and have a look at the cattle place. The cattle place does look very, very cool, and it looks like something I definitely want to be a part of, but we need to get straw, and I think we've also got to get potatoes for them, but I don't know how much we've got to get in the way of potatoes, whether or not that's like going to be a super important aspect of it, or if it's just like a smaller part. So let me just press H there. Excellent. Now, I don't know if that's going to be enough room for it to turn around properly. Probably not. No, not even close. Not even close. Should be alright just to start off with. We can come and we can tidy this one up afterwards. We'll let that one carry on. He is turning round. That's the important part. He's actually turning round on the field. And he's getting the seed drilling done. And we want the seed drilling done, even if he's going to do so not quite perfectly. But he's doing it. It's doing the job. It's actually doing it fairly well as well. I'm really looking forward to being able to get this saddle track going with some of the other bits. You know, those extra bits on there that like sit on top of it. And we judged that really badly, didn't we? I turned too much, so we're going to have quite a bit of tidy up work to do on this one when we get to the end. We'll worry about that in a while. Right, I think this is... No, actually, I want to go to the red... Where's our red van? That's the Sammy Fortis that we left in the shed there. I've got a red... it's the red van. Oh, yeah, we left this one at the dealership. Yeah, we can take this one away from the dealership because it doesn't matter about being in here. So we'll come out this side over here and we will head this way. Now, the cattle yard, the young cattle yard, is quite an expensive one, much like the cattle themselves. And this is another thing that's making me think that this map would be brilliant for doing time-lapse on. It'd be absolutely... Oh, hang on. Have I taken a wrong turn? Oh, no. There is a road up through there that we can use, and I think that's the one where we were jumping over the little thing over there. But I don't think there's bridges over this way. No, the actual main road, we are heading in the right direction for the main road. Yeah, this map could be so awesome for doing the time-lapse on. I mean, yes, I said about the trees last time, and the trees would be a real pain. I would have to spend quite a bit of time cutting away a lot of trees. But I think most of you kind of accepted that as something that's got to happen when I do a time-lapse. Because otherwise, the footage ends up coming... It does end up looking quite bad if I don't remove all the trees first. So we'll probably work on that if I was to do it. The only way it's going to happen is if this one is converted over to FS17. What have we got here? There's something here. I don't know what this is. There's an area here. There is a thing. What is this? This is... Oh, there's another cattle one. Many locations, one silo and a cattle stable. 700,000. This is another one. Yeah, look, see? Mutterind. Water, potatoes, straw, grass, dry grass, silage, forage, mixing. Wheat, barley, and maize. Yeah, potatoes, I've not heard of... Well, I suppose you do feed some potatoes to cattle if you put them in a root cutter first. And then you got manure, and then you got gule. I think gule is slurry, so that would come out of this one here. And then rinder. Is that rinder or rinder? And I think you roll your R's quite a bit in German, don't you? So you have 30 pieces there. And those, I don't know if you sell those... Or if you can take them up to, if we could transfer them to the cattle up there and then use them in that one. So, I mean, if I'm looking through here, I think that's gule there, the slurry. So we could take that out and we could sell that. And then we move up through and there isn't prices for selling the animals on here. So maybe there is actually prices in the cattle market. But this comes in, we can open this one up and we can go in. There we go, look, see? So that's where the cattle would be in there. So this is a fattening yard. And basically, you get calves come in and you can fatten them up. So we got one here, which I actually didn't know about. It's quite good that one's there. This one is very nearly almost done, so we'll get back to that in a minute. Let's go back to you. No, the one that I was looking at wasn't 700,000. The one I was looking at was 600,000. So there's actually two of these units. But if you're only getting 30 cattle at a time and you want to build up the numbers, I'm guessing 2 units would be quite handy because... it could take a little while to build them up. Let's just squeeze in through there. Wonderful driving there on my part, I feel. Maybe not quite. Oh. No, I can keep going, I think. Going a little bit further down here. So there's more stuff that we can buy. Is that another one? What am I looking at? I don't know what that one is. That's another thing that we can buy right there. But no, I think it's up this way that we want to go. Now, it's going to be more difficult getting up here. This road up here is a bit off the beaten track. There it is. That's the one I'm after. We've got a bit of muck pen there. We've got silage on there. But I think those are just part of this one. And there it is this one right here that I was looking at. That's another one there. This one's 600,000. And if I look there, it still does 30 pieces. It's still the same. So for some reason, this one is 100,000 cheaper than the other one. I'm thinking it's because of access. I'm thinking that they've changed the price slightly because it's more difficult to access that one up there than it is the one out on the main road over here somewhere. It's that one there, isn't it? It's that there. And that's quite easy to get to. So I figure that's probably why they've got that like that. I'm going to leave the vehicle where it is for a minute. We've got cattle over here. But this here is... Let's visit here. We've got pig sales there. We've got hay can be sold here. Mark next tree. Oh, the marking of the trees is built into the... Right, open animal dialogue. So you got the sheep, you got the cows, and you got the pigs. Right, it doesn't look like there's any other things that we can... Let's go round and see if there's anything else that we can buy and sell in here. There's seed pallets over here. That's not anything that we can buy, though. Yeah, and then you got the wool there that you can sell. We know that's a wool sale point. So it does look like That's the animal sell point you come to right there. You come right here for animal sell point. And I think this here would be the straw and hay sell point. I don't know if there's other straw and hay sell points. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Who knows? Let's have a look through. Oh, grass sale right there. Where's that one? But it's in the same place. I'm in exactly the same spot. Right. So that's grass sale there. This one. No. Getting carried away now. You've gone to the wrong field. We don't want that. Let's bring you back over this way. And it's a good job I switched over when I did, really, isn't it? So we're going to go and buy that one for the cattle. I think we'll get the 700,000 euro one rather than the 600,000 because it's a bit closer and it'll be a bit easier to get to, and it's also closer to our fields that we've got. To start, just to kickstart it, we will probably go to the dealership and we will buy some bales. We do have the buy bales mod on this game, and I think that one is actually on Mod Hub these days. If it's not, it's over on FS UK, and I will put a link in the description down below. But I think that the Buy Bales mod is actually now on the Mod Hub. So I've just double-checked that one. But yeah, Buy Bales, we'll use that one. We can buy some straw, and we can buy some hay bales, and we can put those in for the cattle over there. And we can also get some water. That's easy enough to put in. What else do we need? We need straw and hay and water, and then there was potatoes and there was grains. I don't think you start this map with any... No, you don't. Oh, hang on. I haven't looked. No, you don't. You don't start with any grains in storage. Now, that's unusual. Normally, on any map, you start with grains in storage, and this one you don't. I actually quite like that. I think that is actually very good that we don't start with any in storage. It presents more of a challenge, I feel, to the overall gameplay. It also means that we're not going to be able to start off our career with right. I'm trying to change this one over. Oh, I need to press B there. Then I can change it over. Right. Now I can start it up, and we're going to come over here, and we're going to do the outside round on this one, and we are now using barley. So if I go over this one with barley, it'll also replant the bit of wheat that we did down the other end with barley like it's supposed to. It's a good job we caught this, otherwise we'd have had everything as wheat, and I did want to have two separate crops here. So we're going to have a huge field of wheat here, which should be able to provide the grain that we need to feed our young stock, and we could also consider doing some young stock for pigs. Not really sure if we want to do that or not, to be honest, so that's something that we're going to be giving some careful consideration to. And like I said, in our next episode, I will have some extra toys available for this Zerion, and we can see what they look like and how they perform, handle, etc., etc. I think it's going to be actually pretty cool. I'm quite glad that some of you pointed out that it's even available for this one, and so we'll be able to go and use it. And like I've said with the weekly questions, make sure... because you're no longer going to be choosing what brands of machinery and stuff like that you'll be that I will be using in the game anymore. I'm sort of stopping those kinds of questions, because a lot of you didn't really bother voting on those anyway because it wasn't very important to you. There were aspects of the gameplay that you felt was important, but I think we can deal with that through comments, and I can see your comments in the comment section quite easily, and I can adjust my gameplay accordingly. And I do look at those a lot, and they do influence what I do very heavily, so you are going to it will have a significant impact on what we do. I'm actually thinking, for convenience sake, we ought to buy that field next to us, and then we're not going to keep getting this you don't own the field flashing up. Where is the purchase point? Right in the middle over there. If we run down there a second, just here, and grab this one. Now, I've been told that I got most of it right at the was it Verkaufen? It's not Werkaufen. And the Kaufen I got fairly... The Kaufen? I can't remember now if it was a TH or if it was a V. I think it may have been a TH. But that up there, it's not Zoo, it's Tsu. Yeah, TSU, I should be pronouncing that. It's pronounced as TS rather than Z. So, it's Zoo, Verkaufen. So like slightly a hard F almost. So Verkaufen. I think I've on this one. I hope I haven't just horribly butchered that. I really do. I really hope I haven't horribly butchered that. 240,000 to buy, just so that we don't have a message flashing up on our screen. It is a little expensive, but I feel it's probably worth it, so that we don't get the message flashing up over here, because that's a little bit of a nuisance. I figure that if we were to be doing this on the time-lapse, I'd probably, if I was to buy the field that we're in and not have got that one, I'd just use a slightly smaller machine. I don't think I'd be at the stage where I'd be using giant machines like this just yet. And like I said before, you know, when you're time-lapsing stuff like this, you can, it's altogether different. How you do things is altogether different. I can spend ages doing different jobs if I want to. I can spend like an hour just watching a machine go up and down the field, and then when you come to watch it, it's actually only a couple of minutes, and it makes a pleasant viewing. I quite like watching it when it's doing like that. For those of you who like time-lapse, obviously. Not everybody likes the time-lapse, and it's... so if you don't like it, then it's probably not going to be entertaining for you to watch it, no matter how fast it goes. So, yeah, anyway. We'll get round this field here, and then I can leave the hired help going, and we'll go back over. We'll move the red van over to the other farm. I'm just going to leave that corner off, I think. We might consider chopping down some trees later on, but we're not going to worry about that right now. As long as we get most of the field, I'll be happy with that. Yeah, we'll go and buy the one where we can raise young cattle. And then we need to, in our next episode, as well as finishing this off, we need to be thinking about how we're going to go and do the get the cattle sorted. We're going to need water bowser for ferrying water to and fro, and we're going to need a trailer so that we can go to buy. We're going to buy in some straw and hay from dealership. Now that is quite realistic. I've had people tell me before, you can't do that, it's not realistic. Yeah, it is. Have you ever... How many farmers do you know have never gone and bought straw or hay? Quite frankly, I don't know any farmer at all. I've known hundreds of farmers, if not thousands. And I have worked for quite a lot of farmers as well, on and off. Some of them over long periods, some of them over shorter periods. And I don't know a single farmer anywhere that has never bought a bale of hay or a bale of straw. So that particular one that it's not realistic to buy in the straw and hay, I would say please go and just take a look at your facts before you come rushing at me with that particular argument. And yes, I know I do things that aren't realistic. I'm quite happy to accept that I do things that aren't realistic. I do it all the time, and I do it in the name of expediency, so that we can hurry things along and you don't get bored to tears watching me do the certain types of gameplay. And that's fine. You call me out on that every time you want. But the whole buying bales, no, I'm not having that. That's not realistic, because it is. It's 100% realistic. I mean, yes, I'm going to be using an auto-load trailer to move said bales, and that's probably going to upset some people's sensibilities. However, most of those people no longer really watch this channel, because I've now firmly established that I don't do all the time realistic gameplay. I do mostly, and I use extra bits. I'm just saying this because I had some rather amusing comments on some old videos in the last few weeks, and some people, they really do get upset. Some people take this far too seriously, and yes, I know it's fun to play things realistically, but let me just point out that this is in fact just a game, right? It's not actually real life. This is just a game, and if any of you who were getting really upset with how I was doing things in some of the older videos from last year, I think it was, if you happen to be watching this episode, it's a game, right? I know we can do things realistically if we choose to, but we also have the option of not doing things realistically. We also have the option of not doing the things that are so boring, they make us want to stop playing the game altogether. And, so we can achieve a happy medium. And that's what I try to go for. That's what I'm trying to do. And most of you already know this. Most of you who watch the series on a regular basis, you know that that's what I try to do. I try to get a happy medium where we have some realistic gameplay and we have some unrealistic gameplay as well. And we would try to have a wonderful blend of the two. So anyway, enough about that. I just thought I'd say something because I've been getting a lot of these comments lately, and I do reply to some of them. Most of them I just generally ignore because the people who make such comments don't tend to stick around for very long on his channel once they've sort of established that I use things like auto-load trailers. Anyway, that aside, we have our vote. Now, don't forget to vote. If you really, really want to influence how this vote is run this time, how things happen for this vote this time round, you'll have 6 opportunities to vote. Because I'm going to leave the vote running for 2 weeks. As I said at the beginning of this episode, we'll leave it running for 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks, I will then read the results. And I'm only going to do the vote on what map we should play next. For at least a little while, I will include the map that we're playing, so that you really do, as a group of viewers, as you know, as a collective, you all will have the opportunity to really influence what map we're playing. Because I know that when series start to run on, many of you start to get fed up with the same map. Some of you really like the longer stories, you know, the long time frames on them. And so I'm curious how this is going to work out. I'm curious how it's going to affect the things that we do, because I could plan now for doing something that's going to take like 5 or 6 weeks, but then I may end up having to cut it short because we're leaving the map in a few weeks' time, and that's going to be the end of it. I mean, if I get enough requests, I can always come back to a map, but at the moment I'm thinking it's unlikely. I'm thinking that once we've done a map and once we leave the map, it won't be included in votes again, because otherwise it's going to get too complicated. I'm going to have too many save games floating around, and it's going to start to be difficult to keep track of what's going on. So I will just say, I think at the moment that once the map is done, once we move on, once the vote has reached a point where we move to a new map, that's it for the series. We won't be going back to visit it at another time, because I just think that's going to be too much for me to try and keep up with, and too much for you to all keep up with. I think it's going to end up just getting confusing. So we'll avoid doing that, and we'll rule that one out at the start. So if you want more than 4 weeks worth of episodes on a single map, then vote for that one. So this week we have Stappenbach, we have Horsch, we have Welker Farms, we have Valley the Old Farm, and we have Lone Oak Farm. It's your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. And I didn't go and buy the other farm, the new cattle one, but I will do that at the beginning of the next episode. We'll also get some new toys to play with on this one, which I'm hoping we can look at in the next episode, and we will start getting some of the cattle together. We don't know how much we'll be able to do straight away. I'm not going to buy cows on this farm here until later in the year, because I want to fast forward it and so that we can at least get a summer going. Because at the moment I'm assuming that you're going to vote elsewhere, and we've only got 4 weeks here, so I'm going to stick with the original plan, get everything planted, fast forward to summer, then get the cows, and we should be able to get some harvesting done. And then if we've got time after that, if the votes have gone that way, then maybe we can look at doing some silage and some hay, and maybe even stay here until winter and things like that. So we'll have to see. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, then please hit down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.